The Cubans, now the Nigerians.
I can't categorically say every Nigerian got this talk, but a lot of Nigerians that travel abroad got this talk from their family, where they will sit you down and tell you, you're going there. Don't go and talk to those black Americans. You just go and get pregnant. You get into drugs. You start become gay. They give you that talk. That just go to the white community, find a nice place. They just go and be decent. Stay with the white people. They give you that talk. So when you enter America, you already have a perception of African Americans. You've judged them. And of course, they can see that judgment in your behavior towards them. And they see how you are almost like, yes, master, to the Oyinbos. They see, they're not blind. So when they have that feeling of, when they become defensive, when you're in their presence, it's because they see that perception you have of them. So I know I got that talk. And a lot of Nigerians got that talk. So we are over there, we are doing well, we are doctors, we are building houses, we are feeling like, yeah, so we'll come to the land of the living, we are the land of the plenty, and we are doing well. Forgetting that some people sacrificed for you to even go there in the first place. So is that acknowledgement that the African American community are expecting of us, especially those of us living abroad in America?
Okay.
Can I say so?
The one thing that I will say, that since Donald Trump has been sworn into office this second time around, a light has been shown on all of these different POC communities. It's like I told the Cubans the other day. I, as a black American, as a black woman, I am not looking for anybody to bow down to my feet. I am not looking for anyone to kiss my ass. What I'm looking for is mutual fucking respect. You are not better than me, and I am not better than you. If you are not going to fight with me, don't look for me to fight with you. Respect my ancestors, respect the culture that we have built in this country, respect what they have, the contributions to this society that they have made, the contributions that you benefit from. They all come over here with their nose up, looking down on black Americans, looking down on black Americans. And without black Americans, they ass wouldn't be here. They come over here all high and mighty. And it was our ancestors, black Americans, that suffered through blood, sweat, and tears, through lynchings, through beatings, through grapes. And they come here and enjoy all of the comforts that our ancestors fought for. Enjoy all of the comforts while looking down on you. They were prepped. They were primed before they even traveled over to our country.
And guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm your host and presenter Eugene Duke Stories. Well, I'm hoping that you're doing great from wherever you're watching me from, whether you're watching me in the morning, evening, afternoon, wherever you're watching me from, brothers and sisters. There is an important message that I think it's imperative if we bring about this discussion. For the longest time, we have seen certain times when we have Africans that are having tensions with black Americans or African Americans, at least for those who consider themselves that. Now, there is a recent video that is surfacing out, and I think Tabitha Speaks Politics talks about it, and I feel like it's important. We need to have this discussion to bridge the gap that we have, because oftentimes we find ourselves in this predicament and we don't understand where it started. So this is something which is happening. There is a Nigerian sister who opens up and says that they were told not to associate with black people in the United States. And so they were taught to, if you go to the United States, I'm talking about African immigrants, if you go to the United States, just interact with white people. They tend to be more peaceful. You'll have more opportunity. While if you go and interact or go in the black neighborhoods, you will find problems, because that's what they are taught. And then you understand all the attitudes that they are giving black people in the United States, and it really tells. And I thought it was a joke until I heard a couple black people talk about this, and I understand. Right now, the biggest question that we should ask ourselves, who came up with all these ideas to tell these people that if you go to the United States, don't interact with black people. And that comes the biggest playbook of division, right? The Willie Lynch letter was to divide or was to cause a disruption in the black unity. They don't want black people to unite. And so they'll use stereotypes to scapegoat black people, to make black people look like they're not good people. And this same case happens with almost all immigrants. Speaking of Hispanics, people from the Cuban community, Africans, Asians, Indians, name all of them. So you ask yourself this question: who is this person that tells these people not to go and interact with black people? And so this is creating division, this is creating tension, and we've been seeing diaspora wars. It's a couple of such kind of discussion that I'm trying to talk about. And I'm proud that we are here having this discussion so that we can bridge the gap that we have. At least acknowledgement that we as black people, generally Africans, we have been part of the problem, but it doesn't just end into that. We need to find the solution to this. So it is better if we try educate each other on these issues. Join me in this discussion today. I'm your host and presenter, Eugene Stories. If you're watching us for the first time, kindly consider subscribing to the channel, join our membership, and really get so we can offer you. But until then, let's watch the video. I'll be back.
Please don't get down into my comment section and say that's not true. We got to come together. Deal with the anti-blackness in your community before you think about coming together with us. I said this a few months ago. Black people are in a new season. The disrespect will no longer be tolerated. Don't come over here turning your nose up at us because she's right. We can pick up on that shit. We can see that shit. Black people are just not going to deal with it. Black people are not going to accept it. So if you want to come together, check your anti-blackness and check your racism. So I'm watching all of the conversation take place. Let me get this straight. Hispanic immigrants in this country vote the way that they do because they hate black Americans so much that they use their vote thinking that we aren't Americans. They think that we are immigrants and that if they vote along with Republicans and they get rid of immigrants in this country, they think that they are going to get rid of black Americans. Black Americans who built this country. Black Americans who've been in this country since before the United States was established. Black Americans who are a part of the Constitution. They thought they would align themselves with whiteness and the Republican Party, who are screaming to get rid of the illegals in this country. They thought that meant us. That's what y'all telling me? That's what y'all are saying all over these TikTok streets? No. I can't believe it. I can't believe that the Hispanic and Latino community are so uneducated that they thought black Americans were immigrants in this country and not citizens? No, I can't believe it. I cannot believe it. And y'all are also saying that is why Africans in the diaspora are always throwing the question to black Americans, saying they don't know where they come from because they too believe that black Americans are truly not Americans. No, I cannot believe that These groups of people believe that. I can't believe it. Y'all cannot be seriously believing that these people believe that Black Americans are not Americans. They believe that Black Americans are the Black immigrants, not the Africans who immigrate to this country, not Haitians who will immigrate to this country, not Caribbean people who immigrate to this country, not the Black British folks. Yup. No. Somebody say psych right now. They cannot believe that. Say psych right now. It was I just cannot believe that they think this. Where did this conversation start from? Somebody tell me, where did this conversation begin? Because I just cannot believe that Hispanic people have aligned themselves with whiteness because of immigration, and they think that the Black Americans in this country are immigrants, and they would be getting rid of Black people. Where did this conversation start? This is crazy thinking. I cannot believe that Latinos think this. Who started this conversation? Who started it? Call them out.
5 American facts to break an immigrant's back. Black Americans did not immigrate here. We were trafficked through chattel slavery. The first Americans arrived in Virginia in 1619, not as immigrants, but as chattel property under violent colonial rule. No visa, no port of entry, no green card. Only forced labor, rape, and death. That's it. Black Americans were here before most white, Asian, or Latino immigrants. Do your history, do your research. 1865, over 4 million Black people had already lived, worked, and died in America before the majority of European, Mexican, Chinese, or Caribbean immigrant waves began to come here. Source, U.S. Census, 1860. Black Americans are the only group whose citizenship was legislated. The 14th Amendment, 1860, was written specifically for descendants of American slaves, not immigrants. It granted legal citizenship to Black Americans who have been born on U.S. soil but treated as property. Source, U.S. Constitution, Congressional Record, Civil Rights Act, 1866. Black Americans fought in every American war before many groups were ever even allowed in America. From the Revolutionary War to the Vietnam War to Iraq, foundational Black Americans have fought, bled, and died to defend a country that doesn't even consider us human. I hope you guys understand that our blood is spilt on the land of America. Fact number 5, to break the immigrant's back, to break the ignorance of immigrants' mind, okay? Most Latino immigration was not legal until 1965. 1965? The Immigration and Nationality Act of 1965 removed the racial quotas that had previously blocked non-European immigration. That means the majority of Latino families didn't enter the U.S. legally until the 20th century, while Black Americans had already been here for 400 years. 400 years. So I'm saying that to say this. I think that one of the biggest problems that we have in both communities is we don't have knowledge of who each other are. And I believe if the Hispanic community had more knowledge of who Black Americans actually are, they would automatically have more respect for us, right? They don't know who we are, so they don't respect us. I don't know if that's to blame them or the government, but something's got to change. And that was 5 facts to break an immigrant's back.
So Latinos, y'all thought we was immigrants? So you mean to tell me y'all thought we was just over here chilling? So that's why you guys are saying that we're next. Man, we was first. And they still ain't stopped coming for us. So, hey, just don't worry about us, man. We gonna take care of us And y'all take care of y'all, man. But we know how y'all look at us, man. And don't try to say that it's not that way, man, because we know it is. We know it.
Man, stop trying to convince these people that we need to stand together and all that. They ain't trying to hear that shit, bro. They've been betrayed so many times, bro. 1877, after federal troops pulled out of the South, bro. Betrayed. 40 acres and a mule, betrayed. You feel me? Jim Crow, betrayed. Redlining, betrayed. Every promise that this country has made to them has been a false promise. And now we need y'all to stand with us while we march. Leave them people alone. They ain't trying to hear that shit. They ain't trying to hear that shit. Because they know how prevalent racism is in our community. And they know how y'all talk about them when they ain't in the room. And they know that now y'all got y'all N-word wake up. Didn't y'all? Y'all got that Paul Mooney N-word wake up call. And now y'all want to scream unity and solidarity. Nah, bro. It don't work that way. It don't work that way. The people that have been working together will continue to work together. The people that have empathy for your plight and your situation will continue to have empathy for your plight and situation. But don't try to convince people to come join your side. Like, oh, it's always been. They don't give a fuck. They don't care. They're trying to survive their damn self. They're trying to figure out how this man is about to get rid of the 13th and 14th Amendment and strip them of citizenship. What, you don't think they know what time it is? They gotta deal with their own shit. I'm just saying, I see a lot of videos where people are like trying to convince, Black Americans that they need to stand side by side with Black and brown unity, but when it's something that doesn't benefit us, we ain't screaming that shit. Yeah, get mad. Go ahead. You know I'm fucking right.
I don't have no hate towards y'all at the end of the day, man. It is what it is. It is what it is.
Why are Latinos asking Black people to join them in the protest? But last month, Black people asked Latinos to stop saying the N-word because Black people find it disrespectful when Latinos say the N-word. And Latinos were so offended that they started disrespecting the Black community. And I'm probably going to get a lot of hate for this, but I want to say something. If you've been following me for a while or have gone through my videos recently, you see that I'm constantly pushing for unity between communities. Majority of the Black people in the comments are stating how they get a lot of disrespect from the Latinos, and majority of the Latinos in my comments are actually really disrespectful to the Black community. And I've been pushing for unity because these protests are not where we're going to unite. There's something bigger to come where we need that unity. And something that I've been noticing during these protests is a lot of Latinos are asking the Black community for help. And when the Black community states how they don't want to, or they don't feel like they should, Latinos are disrespecting them with racial slurs. There's a video circulating on the internet where a Latina is yelling the N-word in a very derogatory form to a Black police officer. How is that helping our cause when we're asking the Black community to join us? There's videos on the internet where the comment section is full of hate from Latinos to Black people because the Black community doesn't want to join us on the protest. And while sure, I agree that this is everybody's fight, Latinos, we need to take responsibility and acknowledge the fact that this is our fault. I find it very ghetto and disrespectful for us to be saying the N-word. I find it very disrespectful for us to be even saying the M word, that stands for Beatles in Spanish. And while I am going to have a lot of people in the comments saying that this is all politics and about the Latinos for Trump BS, this has nothing to do with politics because it is before Trump took office. We were put against each other back in the 1970s and the 1980s. And we're a product of that now because it was our parents that were put against one another. Why? Must I remind you that back in the 1960s when we were all united, we actually got things done, like the Civil Rights Act movement. Latinos tend to forget that Black people, the Black community, were out protesting for field worker rights, immigration rights with us. And the Black community tends to forget that there were Latinos marching with Martin Luther King Jr., down to the point that we do have a statue for MLK in Mexico because MLK was a huge impact in the Latino community. And while I do not agree with Cesar Chavez and the stuff that he did to the immigrants in the United States, Cesar Chavez, amongst many other Latinos, were marching with MLK. Black Panthers were protecting Mexicans, while Black Panthers also helped start the Brown Berets. We have a lot of history together, and this is why divided we stay conquered, because together we get things done. So no, I'm not asking the Black community to come out and march with us, to protest with us, because this is something small compared to whatever is about to come. I'm asking the Latino and the Black community to take accountability for whatever we have going on and start asking yourselves, why have we been put against each other, and why have some of us actually gone along with the way that they want us against each other? Why is there hate amongst each other when we've done nothing but unite in the past and get things done? Where does this hate come from? I've had my fair share of experiences with racist people in the past, but those people do not define the communities that they come from for me. There's always going to be racists within each community. So to my fellow Latinos, we've needed unity for a long time from other communities, and now we're reaping the consequences of us being hateful towards other communities. We even have hate within ourselves. And until we take accountability and change that, no one's going to come out to our rescue. Food for thought. Chino Hills, California, where Monica Mares, a Latina, took it upon herself with her husband and her children, decided to drive by protest and start screaming, "Go back to your country." Now, I'm not sure the following video is before she was yelling this out of her vehicle or after, but she actually walked through the protest and began antagonizing protesters, screaming, "Go back to your country." Now, I'm only posting a clip of this video, but it actually shows, prior to the little piece that I just showed you guys, where she was trying to fight protesters. Monica Mares is from Chino Hills and she's married to a white man. Now, I don't know who needs to hear this, but just because you marry a white person doesn't make you white, and it doesn't change your heritage and your roots and where you come from. I don't care if you've been here for generations, but with the last name Mares, you are Latina and most likely Mexican. And based off the way you look, and given that ICE was racially profiling, ma'am, you would have been one of the people asked to identify yourself as well sometime last week had you been walking on the wrong side of the street. But Monica Mares wanted attention, and I think we should give it to her. TikTok, do your thing. If you're gonna come into the United States, you need to do it the right way. Trump is only deporting people that are here illegally. I find it very ironic for people to be saying things like this when Trump has stated multiple times that he is deporting people from the TPS program. You know, people that came into the United States under the Biden administration the right way. They applied for amnesty, did their process, and were allowed into this country, you know, the right way. And then Trump decided to cut that program off and send all of them back to their country, but gave the same exact benefits to the South African.
Hello brothers and sisters, welcome back to the channel. I'm hoping that you're doing great from wherever you're watching me from. As you know, I'm your host and presenter Eugene Stories. For those who are watching us for the first time, definitely I'll ask you to subscribe to the channel, join our membership, and really get to can offer you right, because it is more of education and we're learning from the experiences of others by seeing and reacting to what's really happening. But now, the biggest question in the house, this is the catch. Where did all this problem started? Why is it that if an immigrant goes to the United States, they'll be told not to associate, not to interact, or look down upon black people, blacks of the United States? That's the question. Because I've seen this happen. And man, I'm really, really happy that I'm seeing an African opening up for this discussion, at least bringing an avenue for us to talk about these menace that is creating all these misunderstanding and division. One thing that I'd like to say up front is that I think both Africans and African Americans, we need to take time and understand each other's history. While there are some aspects of similarities in our history, remember, we have different lived experience. The experiences of black people in the United States is not same as the experience of black people in Africa. So these people look the same, but remember, they have lived different experiences. And so chances of misunderstanding, as much as people look alike, chances are high. And that's where the enemy gotten the opportunity to push all this narrative of division right? Because when they try to portray black people as not good people, when they try to portray African as not good people, it creates chaos. And when it creates chaos, what happens? However, I'm not denying the fact that some of us, continental Africans, have played part in pushing this problem, because the problem, to find the solution of any problem, it begins with accountability. It begins with understanding that somehow we need to recognize that one of us or some of us are causing this problem. But the goodest thing that we can do is try to address the problem. And this is what we are doing. We are trying to address this problem. I've seen and have heard a couple of parents telling their kids, when you go to the United States, don't interact with a black person, because one, they'll teach you some bad stuff. But remember, this, why are they saying this? They're saying this because, one, that's what the mainstream media is trying to push to them. You need to understand at this point, that's what I'm saying, understanding each one's history is important. Once you have the blueprint of the truth, and that's understanding, that's why I immerse myself in the Black American history, because I really want to know, I really want to understand. I'm trying to be empathetic. I'm trying to sit on your shoes as a black person, as much as I'm not in the United States to begin with, but I'm trying to resonate with you. I'm trying to give it a perspective from the life that some of you have lived. Since I'm an African, a person who has lived in this soil for 25 years, honestly speaking, I can say that our lived experiences are different. Our histories are different. Somehow there's an intersection of oppression through the hands of a colonizer or a white person, you can say it. But trust me, the dynamics that we have in our relationships really matter. So I would like to say, and I'm suggesting, that we need to take our time to learn each other's history, have true account of each other's history. Let's stop listening to what mainstream media portray about Africa or Africans. Let's stop listening to what the mainstream media portrays about Black Americans in the United States. For the longest time, and I'm happy that this is happening, because we are having leaders like Ibrahim Traore, who is trying to put the Pan-African unity, the African unity on the spotlight, because I feel like this is an important discussion that we need to have. And I'm not saying this for the first time, because there is always a misunderstanding that has always been happening between Africans, Black Americans, African Americans, at least for those who recognize themselves like that. So I feel like it starts with us recognizing that we are part of the problem. But understanding that we are part of the problem is by, what can I do as a person, right? How am I perpetuating these stereotypes towards my African brother? Or how am I perpetuating these stereotypes towards my African American or Black American brother? So from there, we get to understand each other's history and looking forward on how harmoniously we can move on. Because for the longest time, there are so many lies that have been told about Black Americans or African Americans. The same way, there are lies that has been told about Africans in Africa, right? So having your own time, stop listening to people, have your own experience. If you are endowed to go to the United States, support the truth. Go see yourself. Oftentimes, most of these people that have come, that they were told not to interact with Black people, later on they came that it was all a lie, because looking back, these are people that understands their struggle. And remember, if it was not for Black people in the United States, we could have not been seeing a lot of immigrants coming to these places. So they have played a significant role in making these a success. The fact that you're stepping your foot in the United States and you're an African, you are an immigrant, you are a Latino, you are Asian, it means that there's somebody that advocated for you. Because right now we are seeing a lot of deportations happening. And I think just yesterday, there are those countries that were being banned, African countries that were being banned from getting into the US. And my country is amongst the list. I saw it. So you understand from the concept of Black Americans, they are the folks that have fought for you. They have put their lives in front so that you can step your foot in these places. The civil rights movements, the Malcolm X, how they did it, really, it's an act of selflessness. And so, my call for this video is just to let everyone know that we are really responsible. We need to give ourselves the responsibility of getting the other side of the story. Single-sided, one-sided story is not usually right, because the mainstream media will always sell you the one side of the story. Why don't they tell you how the Black American culture is rich? Why don't they tell you how the world envies just Black Americans? Why don't they tell you that Africa is the richest continent of all time? Why don't they tell you this? Because this is part of the broader playbook of division. This is how they want you to operate, right? So it is time to fetch the truth. It is time for you to get to learn the truth, because I feel that's the most important thing, or that's the most important thing that you can give yourself right now, at least, so that we can foster Black unity across the world, regardless of any place that you are, or regardless of any place that you're watching from. So really let me know what you think about this video, because I feel like we really need to take our time, learn about all these concepts, so that we can find an avenue of at least developing together, moving forward, putting all the stereotypes that were told about ourselves in the past. With that, I believe that it's gonna take time, and it's not easy to do that, but that doesn't mean that it's impossible. It's difficult, but it's not that you cannot do it. So really let me know what you think about this video. If there is anything that I did say, feel free to add anything. Let me know. I'm also free to be educated. I'm not perfect. I'm also learning. 90% of the time, I'm also learning. Just like today, I don't have my tablet, but I usually have it. That shows you that I'm also learning. I'm not like perfect, like know it all or anything. Nah. Yeah. So feel free to let me know what you think about this video. But until then, peace, love, and harmony. Salute. See you.